Hi guys, this is Brittany. I am doing the Off with the Threads mouse wallet. Now this one I'm doing in the one hooping. So I already did another video and we're going to make the exact same wallet except the construction is a little bit different, but the end result's going to be the same. If you only have a 5x7 hoop, then you need to go to the other video and you will learn how to make the super cute one over there. But this one hoop, easy, done. So step one is the placement. It's really long, it's kind of awkward, and I mean, it is what it is. So, first step, placement. As you can see, all you need to do is put your vinyl on top of it to make sure it's covered. So we need to have a little bit of conversation about this wallet. Essentially, we're going to pretend that this is the exact one we're making. Essentially, this is going to be the top of the hoop. So what you need to keep in mind is your color choices for your thread and your bobbin, because what's going to happen is a lot of the construction is going to be underneath the hoop. So for instance, I've decided that I'm just going to use black bobbin thread and it's going to go around this outside and it's going to be black. But I am going to try and mess with it and have red on top because I'm going to make this wallet all red. So if that makes sense, we're going to start. So placement stitch, step one. Step two is we're going to do the vinyl that we want to see on the back, which is funny because you got to stick with me here. The back of the hoop is going to be, or lies. The top of the hoop is going to be this back part of the wallet and the front part of the tab, because that's the only way we can do it in order to get the applique of the mouse face. So run step two, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. So I know some people are visual learners, obviously the reason why we're doing the video in the first place. So now it might make a little bit more sense. Do you see how that is going to be the applique for the mouse, and it is on top of the hoop, but right alongside the finished wallet, you're going to see that that's also going to be the half of it is going to be the back of your wallet. Most people know how to do applique already. That was the placement stitch for the mouse's head. So the next step is to cover it all with black or whatever color you're doing the mouse head, most likely black. And then after it runs the stitch around that, then it's going to also do the next step for the bow, and then you're going to do the placement of that. Okay, so we've done the applique placement for the head. We've done the applique for the bow, and now all that we need to do after the placement and the stitch of both of those extra pieces of vinyl is to run the satin steps. You're going to have the satin stitch for the head first and then the bow second, and then we'll get to the nitty-gritty of the construction. Okay, so now that you've done all your pretty satin stitches, what we're going to do is go towards the bottom of the hoop again. Well, for the first time, not again. In your life, I'm sure you've gone to the bottom of the hoop, so it makes sense. I'm tired. I need more coffee. Okay, so we do not take anything off of the hoop. And by the way, I use tearaway. I don't know if I said that. You are going to, oh, I worried. I was like, oh no, I have no bobbin thread, but I forgot. I switched it to black. See, it's all a project here. We're all just working through it. So you have the front side vinyl of what you're going to want to show on the back. Again, this is why videos are sometimes easy, because if I read that in a tutorial, I would be super confused. If you are covering your entire thing on the back, you are good to go. This is where some people tape. This is where some people hold, depending on what your machine is. On this step, I'm just going to hold it because I just have to cover the stitches. It's not about perfect placement as of straightness. So do your next step, and then we will talk about taping. So now this is how it looks. You have the top of your hoop and the bottom of your hoop. I'm going to cut this extra piece of black vinyl that's just, you know, hanging on for dear life. I used an awkward cut. Here we go. Anyways, so now you have this. Now what's going to be confusing about this is that you have to make sure that you're doing the right side of the hoop for these next parts. I'm doing the placement right now for the card slots. So I cut mine instead of doing an extra hoop. If you want to do an extra hoop, you are more than welcome. All it's going to do is have a stitching on each line on the top, but that is not necessary unless you want it for your construction. So I am doing 3 pieces Each one is measured like 3 inches by 3 inches. And you just want to make sure you have really crisp lines if you're not doing the other hooping where you do the stitches. So my plan is to have them like this in color. Because I want them like this, I am actually doing the yellow piece first, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Because we have to do this on the back side of the hoop, I am actually going to be taping for the first time in history. Because, you know, I hate tape. Tape is like opening plastic bags. I'm just not a fan. So, right now, you have this on the back. Well, it's on the top of the hoop, okay? So here's the top of your hoop. You're going to see lines. That's why I was talking about, to make sure that you're actually doing the color thread that you want to see, because in this construction, you're going to always have these on the back. Obviously, I don't think many people are going to care about it, especially if it matches, but just so you know, these 3 lines, they're always going to be there. So if you flip your hoop over, you're going to see where your placement goes. So, like I said, my yellow, I want to be on like the top. So this is where my yellow is going to be. So I'm going to be doing my yellow first. So what I need to do is make sure my edge is straight, and I need to go over, let me get this line right so you can see. Okay, there's the glare. So my yellow needs to cover this top line, and that's where I'm going to tape, and I'm going to make sure I have enough on both sides so when I end up cutting it, it is going to have overlap, because I kind of messed that up on the first one. I didn't really mess it up, but it wasn't really that nice. It wasn't that even. Amy has me do these videos, and I swear I tell her that I'm really not that, like, in charge of my own life. I feel like I shouldn't be doing these videos, but she trusts me, so whatever. You guys are stuck with me. Could be worse. Okay, so the trick is to use painter's tape, or you could use masking tape. That way, when your needle goes through it, if it does, it's not going to gum it really up that bad, and you're going to be able to pull it off. But I try to still keep it on the outside so the stitches aren't going through. Okay, so we're going to really look at this one, and then the other 2 I'll kind of skim over. It's covering that line. That is important because the stitch is going to go right there. And then what is also important is that this is only cut 3 inches by 3 inches. Else, if it goes over these, you're not going to have a card slot. So this is very important that you do it that way. So again, that was all on the bottom of the hoop. The front of the hoop still looks just like this. So then you're going to run that stitch, and you kind of have to be patient with these and do them one at a time. There's really no other alternative. So I had all that conversation about color thread, and I did this one black. So now the new owner of this wallet, aka me, is going to have a black line there, but that's okay. Okay, so this is the back of the hoop. It is all straight up here. You only have this line done because now, get that glare going. Nice job, sun. Sun helps me out in here. It makes my room hot, but at least it works for videos. You're going to do the exact same thing that you just did, except you're going to put it on the next line down. So, you find my super straight edge, and I'm going to cover that up, and I am going to, I won't even use the same tape. I'm usually that cheap. I use the same tape like 3 or 4 times because, you know, I don't know, honestly. I'm just cheap, that's why. So, cover that line. We tape the next part. It looks like this. And you go for the next line. I'm going to keep it black now because I already started, so might as well keep it going. I'm honestly super proud of myself. I even remembered to change the bobbin in the first place because that's usually my issue. Okay, last but not least, we're going to do, oh, I've lost it. We're going to do the final piece, and isn't this like the cutest final for this bag, right? Gotta love when the stars align and you end up having the exact type that you really want and need in life. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen sometimes. Okay. I'm going to do this final piece, doing the exact same following that we've done. And then your actual construction is good to go. And then all you're going to have to do is do the final stitch all around the entire wallet again. But we're not actually adding anything to that. All we're doing is just making sure all the sides are tight. So I just really suggest that you hold it, even if it is taped, just so you don't have any sliding or bubbling or gapping. Okay, as the final stitch is going around, the only other thing you're going to need to add to this wallet once you've done all of the cutting out are 2 cam snaps. You're going to add a cam snap to the very bottom. Well, 2 groups of cam snaps, I should say. And to the top. And then you're also going to need one for the snap for the hold. For the side holder. That makes sense. And then you have a wallet. So now this side is all done. It basically looks the exact same. But then this side is super fancy, all stuck together, even without the tape being held to it. And the only thing left is the placement for the cam snap. So run that last step, and then we'll meet back here. Okay, it's all done. Once you cut it, you do them here. I like to put this on the back just so then it doesn't mess with the cards at all. And then the other one is in the front. And then there you have it. It's a super cute little wallety holder doodad. Can't go wrong. If you need any extra help, go to Off With Their Threads Facebook group. There's always a person that is willing to help you. And other than that, have a great day. Thanks.